Alright, ladies and gentlemen, well, here it is. It's the Frost Mage. How is this thing playing? Well, it's a lot different than live. On live, you've got all your procs. You're still getting those same procs, but unfortunately, you're missing the buttons to make it worthwhile. Um, you're still getting everything here, guys. I mean, it's really not too terribly different, I guess, if you look at it. But the biggest problem I have with this spec, one, the damage is really feeling very, very low. You have a couple new abilities that are pretty interesting. A talent, probably my favorite thing, Glacial Spikes. Basically, it's more of a burst talent. When you build up your Icicles, which Icicles is still your mastery, by the way, as you end up increasing your mastery, you increase the damage of your Water Elemental and your Icicles, the damage that they absorb. Not much different there, guys. You're also getting your Fingers of Frost procs. They're still coming up, so you still get that bit of burst damage. It works a little bit differently. Basically, it does more than what it did before. Instead of just affecting your shatter, it also gets another multiplier added onto it. That increases the damage of it a bit more. So you're definitely going to be wanting to play into these Fingers of Frost. Where this really takes a huge damper, though, is when you get your other proc that used to be used on your Frostfire Bolt. It's no longer used on Frostfire Bolt, but on Frozen Orb. And this thing still hangs up just as bad as it does on live, and it makes it a huge pain in the ass to end up using. I have a huge issue with this, and it makes the gameplay very unfun whenever all you're doing. What I felt like I did this whole entire time I played this thing was just spam Frostbolt. I just hit number 1 and took a nap. I took the additional button for Glacial Spike, which is basically when you build 5 Icicles, it's going to combine it into one huge one, do set base damage, and also the damage from all the Icicles there. So I did have an additional button to end up hitting. Then you've got Frozen Orb, which Frozen Orb, we all know how this thing works. It works absolutely retardedly, getting hung up on the smallest particle of dust on the ground. And it works, but it doesn't. It's going to be alright, probably in better conditioned environments. But currently, like out on live, you take so much damage and you barely do any damage until you get your Icicles built up, that it's just not fun to play. I did not enjoy this. Some people may enjoy this play, but the slow cast of Frostbolt and then, tossing out Frozen Orb. Frozen Orb just pisses me off seeing that. I want the extra button for the Frostfire Bolt being instant proc. That was fun gameplay. It was more direct. I know they did the pruning, but god damn, does this feel horrible. You don't have nothing. The other thing that's changed is whenever Frozen Orb does go out, it does end up proccing your Fingers of Frost yet again, but it only does it on the first one, and then it has a 5% chance after that to end up doing it. Guys, this is the boringest fucking class I've played in alpha since I've done anything. I'm really sad to say it, because on live it's actually not too bad. It's really not bad to play at all. But right now on alpha, this thing sucks. Absolutely sucks. You still have your Icy Veins for your cooldown, which increases your haste, which is going to help out. You're probably more or less looking at, for these, to keep the damage going, you're probably looking at a haste mastery build yet again to try and keep your damage flying through the roof. So it's no longer multi-strike because it's not there, but it's the way it seems to be playing. There's really a whole lot of things that can be done to this spec to end up bringing it back, but all you need to do is just bring back the Frostfire Bolt and give us a little more control on where that damage is going. But I know the fire part doesn't play into what they consider the class fantasy, and I see what they mean by that, absolutely. But Blizzard now has a cast time, guys. so it's almost worthless to use. I'm glad that they decided to put back in the talent tree. They put back splitting ice, but it's no longer a glyph anymore. It's one of your talents you have to take. So that really sucks. Your artifact weapon ability, it's okay. It's not great. It's okay. It does some decent damage, and then what it does is it procs both your stacks of Fingers of Frost. So you can end up doing a decent amount of burst damage. I want to say it's every 45 seconds. So it's okay. It's not great by any means. It's just okay. This spec needs a lot of extra work to end up being worthwhile. But right now, guys, I really can't see this. It's really slow. Extremely slow. I literally fell asleep during this, and I had to come back to it afterwards to end up doing the to basically go through everything and try and give you a good review on this without yawning all day, because it literally made me want to fall asleep. And compared to live, guys, live Frost Mage, you've got the procs for days, you've got stuff to do, it's fun, but you can see right here, it's just Frostbolt, Frostbolt, Frostbolt. Oh hey, lucky, I got a couple procs, and now it's back to Frostbolt. With haste, this gameplay may end up changing a lot. Currently, right now, at a base 680 item level with the artifact weapon, so it jumps it up a little bit. This is horrible, absolutely horrible. I have not done any high-end testing with this, and I don't plan on doing any high-end testing with this because I do not enjoy it. The only spell that's actually any good on this is the one that you're seeing where all the icicles come together. It's a great visual. You have the Void Ray style one, I can't remember what it's called, but basically you channel a beam on them, and you literally channel this beam for almost 10 seconds, and it does some great ramping damage. But you're not doing anything else. Nothing. So, where's the fun in the gameplay on that? I mean, you can't move, you can't do anything. The only way you get full benefit, because this does ramping damage, and there goes Frozen Orb off in the left field and then straightened out. Like I said, this thing still plays ridiculously with Frozen Orb. That's been a big issue for a long time with Frost Mages, and then they go and put it as one of your main abilities. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. But I mean, good for them, I guess. They got some of the stuff taken care of. No, they didn't. They completely broke this spec. It is absolutely shit balls deep boring, and it's crap, guys. I can't stress it enough. This is by far my least favorite class that I have played in the alpha, and you just look how slow everything is. I mean, you hit a button and you wait. You hit a button and you wait for days. There's nothing going on. The cast times are extremely slow. There's very little procking going on. And the damage sucks. And I'm not doing any basis off damage for this because it can always be tuned. But right now, it just feels like all you're doing is casting Frostbolt and praying that you get the RNG gods to take care of something. And it really drives me absolutely batshit crazy on this, guys, because there's nothing good about this spec that I can say. Not even the artifact weapon. The artifact weapon abilities, meh. The passive traits it's got, all it does is increase your crit and increase your it's going to increase the crit of your abilities and the damage. That's about it. And it doesn't even look good. There is not a single one of them that I would consider a good-looking artifact. So, the gameplay sucks. The artifact for this thing sucks. The artifact traits, meh. I mean, like 45-second cooldown, and you get to, or minute, whatever the hell it turned out to be. I can't remember. But you cast it, and then it gives you 2 procs. Alright? The thing that you're fishing for to begin with. There's no real damage bonus to this thing. There's no flavor to it. It's a fire at 0 Fingers of Frost is where you're probably going to be at anyways when you go to use this thing, because the procs suck. And you just can't get anywhere. And I do apologize up front, guys. I normally don't bash on a class that hard. I try and see the good in everything. but I just don't see it in this, and it's very unfortunate. You don't even have the survivability that Frost used to have back in the day. And I am playing with the talent to get rid of the pet, because the pet aggroes everything, and then it just dies way too fast, so I got rid of it. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry about the bad news. If you did like it, go ahead and throw it a like, subscribe if you want to, but holy cow, what did they do to the poor Frost Mage? Thanks again, guys, and I hope you enjoyed.